Okay, boys and girls, this is Jim from the Room Code again. I just want to tell you about my second job I had from when I left school. Basically, it was an electroplating factory. When I got kicked out of the last job, my first job that is, I went straight to the labour exchange, and within a day I got a new job. That's how it was in them days. No problem with getting work. Um, and the idea was that I'd be trained as an electroplater. So I went to this factory on my first day. And what did they do? They put me on this side of the building where there was strings of nuts and bolts that had been chromium and zinc plated and whatever hanging down. And there's women either side of me. And they were going like the clappers, almost like picking cherries off a tree. These girls, women. Of course, I was useless. I mean, I take one off, take two off, take two. I didn't know. Anyway, this went on for a while. The place stunk to high heaven of this acid and the stuff in the thing. It wasn't a nice place at all. I was shown what was going on, what I would be trained for, but there didn't seem any sign of it happening. Then after a month, they said, last in, first out on your bike, kid. You're sacked, basically. Well, I was pleased as punch at this. I really wanted to get out. I didn't want to just go and, resign or what you want to call it, quit the job. My mother would have been really mad at me at that. And I wasn't really scared of my mother. I didn't want any hassle with her. Anyways, me being kicked out by them, that was all right with her, you know. So I got kicked out of this job and looking for another one. And what did I get into then? Put up TV aerials. Basically, at that time, Chillerton Down on the Isle of Wight, the ITV station was starting to operate. And of course, people wanted to see ITV station as well as BBC, so it needed another aerial. And I was running up ladders, happy as Larry, straight up on the roof, up the top. No safety ladders or anything. Think about it in them days. Wouldn't do it now. I mean, I still climb ladders to clean the guttering around the house. It's quite high, but hang on. Whoa, baby. You'd say very gently, I mean, keep my hand on all the time and not take any chances, really. My daughters say I'm too old to do this. That's nearly 82 now. But I can still do it. I can still climb up those ladders. Funny thing is, when they want a job doing, it's Dad, Granddad, or whatever. Can you come and do this? Can you do that? So I'm pretty good at DIY stuff, you see, and never ever tell a woman you're good at DIY. Otherwise, you're lumbered for life. I made the big mistake, and that's it. My wife even gets me to do stuff for her friends. Anyway, so I was running up and down these ladders and whatever when the highway came on. And it was all over the Hampshire, Wiltshire district, Portsmouth, around places like that, Chichester. It was great fun. I'll tell you a story. There's this block of flats in Portsmouth, built of bricks, but it was really high up. And coming out every soft were little concrete balconies, only really big enough for about two people at a time. And these women used to stand one here and one there. The gap was only sort of 3 feet or so between them. And they'd have a chat, like people do, especially women. They like having a chat. I mean, I like having a chat. Anyway, we had this huge great extension ladder. It was built of wood, 3 extensions, had to be pulled up with ropes. At the bottom, it went like that, and then gradually went up like that. Anyway, got this thing up eventually to as high as we needed it. And I was scared of this. I mean, we used to run up normal houses, but this was different kettle of fish, a league of its own sort of thing. Anyway, all of a sudden, the wind caught it, and it scythed down at the edge of these balconies, hit the ground, and all the rungs went all over the I tell you, and of course it went past the face of these women by about a sort of foot at the most, I thought, and their language was kind of ripe, if you know what I mean. Really sort of the language you want to hear from anyone. It's picked up and went. Another thing that happened was, this is what got me the sack from this job. We went to a place to put up a loft area in, and like something like Rivermead Crescent, in Portsmouth. I don't know if that's the exact name, but it's something like that. And knocked on the door. This old lady answered. I said, got the paper on it. I said, come to do your aerial for your loft. She said, oh yes, come in. So went in, and the actual installer was an older guy. I was with because I was just learning. He sort of came in as well, and he gave me the aerial. And I went up in the roof, the loft. I climbed up, and the ceiling of this place was an old lath and plaster one. Sort of laths going across and plastered up, and was dodging between the rafters like this. All of a sudden, I slipped, fell through the rafters, and landed on this woman's bed. All these bits of lath and plaster all over the show. Didn't hurt myself, but luckily she wasn't in the bed, of course. Otherwise, it would have been a problem. Next thing you know, her son-in-law comes round, shouting and screaming from the odds, what are you doing here? And we said, yeah, look, you come to do this place. We didn't have orders. So, yeah, what is it? They said, it wasn't. We weren't at Rivermead Crescent, we was at Rivermead Close. And she just let us in. And anyway, the older guy, sloped shoulders and sharpish, and blamed me for everything. And I got the bush. And that's how I come to join the army. But that's another story. And a lot of stories in that one, that's for sure. And that would take a long time to tell. So I'll quit now and leave you to it. And have a good evening. And take care of yourselves and behave.